Left behind. We all have moments when we feel this way. People around you reaching different life milestones, whether it be relationships, work, travels, or any other milestone you can imagine. You feel the hunger to move, but the strength to do so eludes you. You're stuck in a state of limbo. You're aware, but whatever you do lacks meaning. Only then, your insignificance in the grand scheme of things seems like a catastrophe. You're just a tiny blip in our endless cosmos. Dark thoughts consume you. Have you ever thought that you might have had your last interaction with someone and you ended it on a bad note? Have you ever thought that something might happen to you and nobody would be there to help you or find you? Have you ever thought that things would have been way easier if your life just ended? You jump into a meticulously crafted world, hoping to find your place and maybe on the way, have some fun too. Exploring every nook and cranny of those massive open worlds, you manage to barely evade the stalemate that your life brings. All those mini-games, beaten enemies, they bring the sense of progression you couldn't find elsewhere. You look forward to advancing the story, but dread continuing your story. As you roam those vast worlds, this is what you find. How often do you play an open world game and stumble upon a lifeless body with some sort of message that exists only to be found? I'd say quite often. If my memory serves me well, almost every open world, even more linear games had some sort of logs. These logs mostly helped me understand the world I was trying to immerse myself in. They explained how that world came to be, who the important actors were, but none of them had that personal touch. Until I played I cannot pinpoint what exactly sets this game apart when it comes to reading logs scattered across the map. It could be the fact that open zones are half empty, so the bodies found feel extra abandoned. It could be the fact that most of those I've resonated with aren't of informative nature, but instead more emotional. I found them to be haunting. People longing for a partner, family, or mission that is incomplete. You're not only facing the fact that you are dying, but that you are dying alone. That's why you have other things on your mind, other people, dear ones, or comrades sharing the same mission. Just laying there, without an ounce of strength to move. Your final push is pen and paper, fingers, and your smartphone device. Writing your farewells in the last act of defiance towards a cruel fate that is death. The words you wrote will be permanent, you hope. As you wither, your eyes slowly close, and the next thing you know is you're suddenly surrounded by nothing, but somehow you're looking at your lifeless body. As sadness overwhelms you, you realize it's over. I closed the game and slept on these thoughts. I know these lifeless bodies are just programmed to sit there and make the setting more believable, but I couldn't help but think about real people out there. People dying to war, unlucky circumstances, and illness. That some lights got extinguished way too soon. Am I just trying to attach emotions to these thoughts while I live a completely orthodox and safe life? I feel like it's so easy to talk with misfortune at bay. With wars and protests raging everywhere, I feel like humanity is slowly waking up again and starting to feel more empathy towards what's happening around them. We're no longer just bystanders staring at our phones, but we try to at least raise awareness and alert others. We can no longer be completely stoic in the face of global misery. I turned the game on again, but this time it felt less fun and more lonely. The masks fall down. All these NPCs are just reactive. They exist just to make the world seem less empty. As I kept seeing body after body after body, just waiting for time to do its thing, I started to wonder, who is really abandoned here? Them who have already fulfilled their purpose by just existing, or me whose purpose cannot be fulfilled by an activity. I even start to envy them. Then the line between reality and the game starts to blur, and the existential crisis washes over me once again. Maybe I'm playing games just to feel like a main character for once. Maybe that is the power that the game has over me. I'm definitely the abandoned one here. These lifeless bodies are just a reminder that one day I as well will turn into dust, and that I will be As I kept roaming this artificial world that someone created for me to enjoy, I couldn't shake off those thoughts. What if I perish and there's no one to care? I picked up a mission to go near one of the bodies I'd found earlier, but to my surprise, the body wasn't there. All I could find was just a single candle. The rational part of my brain told me that it's just a game and that I shouldn't really read too much into it, but the emotional side of me felt a sense of relief. Despite meeting their demise so far away from home, there was someone who cared enough to walk all the way there, light and place a candle, and take the body for a proper burial. I'm not sure if I've ever seen anything like this in games before, and that's why it struck a chord with me. A tiny candle flame turned into a wildfire of hope. No matter who you are, where you live, what kind of life you lead, average or extraordinary, there will always be someone who will miss you, talk about you, think about you. Even when you're surrounded by people but still feel lonely, speak up, share your thoughts, share your feelings. We are as alone as we allow ourselves to be. Keep the ones you've lost in your thoughts and live your life through positive impact they've had on you. Only then, you will manage to perish one day physically, but live on through memories of those you've inspired. Thank you for sticking with me until the end. I apologize that the video kind of spiraled out of control, but that's just the way it is. But if you've enjoyed it, leave a like, subscribe if you already haven't, and share it with those you think might like it. And I'll see you in the next episode. Ciao.